Well, folks, I can hardly believe that it is that time again. It is time to start applying for tags for 2025, and it always starts with Alaska. Alaska is such a cool place. I go there every chance I get, and when we go through this video, you're going to realize how huntable Alaska is. Yeah, the cost and logistics are there, but we're talking the hunt of a lifetime in most instances. So, as always, these application videos are brought to you by Go Hunt. If you sign up for Go Hunt using promo code Randy, they're going to give you $50 of store credit. But new for this year, we're also going to give you Fresh Tracks Plus. We're going to give you an annual subscription of Fresh Tracks Plus where you get all the ad-free early release stuff from us. That's worth $80. And if you use promo code Randy when you sign up there at Go Hunt, we're also going to give you the elk hunting e-guide that we just updated to 100 pages, another $20. So you're going to get $100 from us. It's $149 that you got to pay Go Hunt, and they give you $50 of store credit. You get all this for free. Anyhow, go there, check it out. You'll spend a ton of time out on Go Hunt just like I do. But we want to make sure everybody knows the deadline, right? That's probably the most important thing that you got to understand for any of these videos is the deadline. This year, the deadline is December 16th, 2024, not 2025, 2024. And you're like, well, some of these hunts aren't until spring of 26. Why are we worrying about it in December of 24? Because that's how Alaska does it. First thing you got to do, go out to the Alaska Game and Fish website and download what they call the Draw Supplement. It has all the details of how this draw works. It's really easy. It's the easiest of all the states to explain, which is good. I hope Alaska keeps it that way. Understand that even though this video is about the limited entry draws and the deadlines, most of the hunting in Alaska is done on general over-the-counter tags, even for non-residents. That's really cool about Alaska. They have a ton of general tags. And if you kind of strike out in all the other western states with these limited draws, Alaska's still got a lot of leftover opportunity that you can take advantage of. So, before we get too far into this, we gotta always answer the question, what species do you need a guide to hunt with in Alaska? There are 3 species that Alaska requires you, as a non-resident, to employ the services of a registered guide. Dall sheep, mountain goat, and any of we call them the big bears, that would be brown bear or grizzly bear. Interior grizzly or coastal brown bear, you need a guide. There is a way around that. Second removed kindred, if you have family member up there, make sure if you're going to use that they meet the qualifications of second removed kindred. I have 3 uncles there. I have a bunch of cousins there. None of that meets second removed kindred, so I can't take advantage of that. So if those 3 species are on your list, you're going to have to get in touch with an outfitter before the draw, right? Like, you don't need a guide to go do all this black bear hunting you see us do. Moose, you don't need a guide for that. Bison, you don't need a guide for that, or caribou or muskox or elk. Now, you're going to say, well, Randy, you didn't say anything about Sitka blacktails. You're right, because there's no draw for Sitka blacktails. It's all over the counter. 100% of deer hunting in Alaska is over the counter. So those are, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 species that you can apply for in the limited entry hunts in Alaska. Alaska does make you buy a non-refundable, non-resident hunting license to even put your name in the hat. That's $160, so whoom. And then for every application that you make, it's a $5 fee, except for bison and muskox. It's $10 for those 2. Just know that we are competing with residents, and up to 10% of the non-resident of the tags can go to non-residents, whether you're guided or non-guided. 90% guaranteed to residents, might even be more than that. Non-residents are capped at no more than 10%. Now here's a little quirk that a lot of people don't know about Alaska. You can make up to 6 applications per species. And you can make all 6 of them the same if you want. So if you want 6 times better odds, do the same application for the same hunt for that species. I know it's weird. I know you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Yeah, you can go and put in the same hunt code for choices 1 through 6. They're just going to charge you $30 instead of $5. So, prices have stayed the same in Alaska this year. Still the same as last year. Those are all out listed all out on their website. So there's not a lot of change for 2025 in Alaska. The draw is still the same. The prices are the same. The deadline's different by a day. But the biggest changes in Alaska usually come in the form of season dates or season types. And there are some really big changes in 2025 for caribou. 2 of the herds that historically provided a lot of hunting for both residents and non-residents are completely in the crapper. So that's moving a lot of the caribou pressure elsewhere, and Alaska has to address that. So when caribou struggle, Alaska adjusts some of these seasons. Go to the regulations and look at it. There's a few new limited entry hunts for moose, for Dall sheep, and for mountain goat that are going to be new for 2025. Again, go check out the regs on that. A note of caution on Dall sheep, if that's of interest to you. They are still suffering from the effects of probably 3 out of 4 winters were really hard winters just back here in the last 5 years. And it took out a lot of the adult rams. So the number of legal adult rams in Alaska are down. And just know that. And talk to a biologist before you get your hopes up or before you even apply. So, first question, does Alaska have a point system? And if so, what type of point system? No. Alaska, like New Mexico and Idaho, does not have a point system. Whew! Extra points for Alaska. Keep it that way. We don't need a point system. So, how does Alaska work? Well, it's really easy to explain, right? Without any point system, all you got to do is pick 1 to 6 entries, and you're going to get charged $5, well, $10 for bison and muskox, for however many entries you make, and you go in the random pool. And everybody gets assigned a random number. So your lowest random number of your choices becomes the number you go into the pool with, the actual draw. And maybe you luck out. You got a low random number, they'll pull your name. Now, just know that if you drew hunt code ABC last year, you can't apply for it this year. You can hunt the same species, but you got to apply for a different hunt code. They won't let you get the same limited entry draw tag 2 years in a row. So, Alaska allows party applicants. That's something we often get asked. But they only allow up to 2 people on a party. Where some states it's 4 or 5 or 6. Alaska caps it at 2. Age, all you gotta do is be 10 years old to apply. You gotta be 10 years old by the date of that hunting season when it starts. And anyone born after January 1 of 86 needs to take hunter education. I often wonder why people ask us, hey, how do I return a tag? I guess there's certain instances where you return a tag if a health event or a family issue or something, but in Alaska, they don't mail you the tag if you're successful. Sometime in February, they post the results and you'll get notified, hey, you were successful. You have to go online and actually buy your locking tag. So the way you return a tag if you draw is you just don't go online and buy your tag. As far as places to hunt, Alaska is over 90% public land if you count in all their state trust land. And with your hunting license, you can hunt those blue state trust land pieces. Now know that there's a ton of tribal land. They call them native corporations in Alaska. You cannot hunt that land. So You really got to know where your plan is and who owns that land. Also know that even though some of these are federal lands, some of the units have really become restricted to subsistence hunting only for caribou. So just keep that in mind. Read the regulations in detail. I don't have time to go through it all here, but make sure you're following along on that. A lot of people in applying in other states, they have these short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans. Without a point system, you really can't do that in Alaska. So what are the short-term options in Alaska? Well, there's a ton of options because like I said at the beginning, most of Alaska's hunting is done on general tags. So for moose, for caribou, for Sitka blacktail, all that's on a general tag. You can just go do that anytime you want. Pretty cool. And I mean, there are limited entry moose units, but there are other general units. Now, other than the islands down in the southeast part of Alaska, the same for black bear. Most of the rest of the state is a general tag for black bear. So there are a ton of short-term options, and Alaska can be your fallback option. If you do your whole plan through the year and it gets to be May and you haven't drawn anything, Alaska is your option because you probably already bought that $160 non-resident license to apply for the limited entry draws. Go get some value out of that. Go to Alaska, go on a deer hunt, go on a caribou hunt, or whatever you want to do. Now, people think of Alaska as this really expensive place to hunt, and it's expensive in terms of the logistics. But as far as license and tag fees, it's no more expensive than any of the lower 48 states, and that's why I say Alaska represents a great value. I mean, I think about Alaska. I love the place. I took my first trip there in 1977. I'm getting old, but man, it changed my whole view of what wild is. It changed my perception of the things I wanted to do in my outdoor life. And I've been going back every chance I can since then. But like I said, the logistics and travel can add up. But you look at that license cost, that tag fee being as reasonable as it is, and you compare the adventure and the intrigue of Alaska, you're going to have a hard time finding a place where you're going to get that much adventure, that much fun out of a hunt for the prices that you're going to pay for Alaska, even with the logistics, even with the travel. So my, I guess, note to everybody is put Alaska on your list, apply for some of these limited entry tags. If you're already going to sink the $160 in a license, you may as well apply before the deadline on December 16th and go do it. And keep your fingers crossed that in February, your name comes up as the lucky successful person. So we're going over this really quickly, right? If you want way more than this, go out to Go Hunt. They have it in the greatest depth. And when you sign up, they're using promo code Randy, like we said at the beginning. In addition to them giving you $50 of store credit, we're going to give you an $80 annual subscription to Fresh Tracks Plus, and we're going to give you the $20 elk hunting e-guide. Alaska, December 16th, go out to the website, download the supplement, apply, and I hope you get your Alaska tag this year. Good luck.